Today I'm going to take you through some hand wrapping techniques for MMA and boxing. So the first part of the setup is the seat. We want to make sure that when the fighter sits down, they're as comfortable as possible. We don't want them moving around or, burning up nervous energy or anything like that. If any moving has to be done, it's me that does the moving. So I might move to my right or I might move to my left. Obviously, I can move their hands along the back of the chair. So this is a heavy towel, which I'll place over the back of the chair. So with a roll of tape, I'll secure the towel in position like so. I don't want any restriction on blood flow, no matter how small, because once the fighter has his hands wrapped and then he gets up and he starts moving around, then the blood will flow into the hand, expanding it, making the wrap tighter, and it'll become very uncomfortable. So then we need to cut that off and go through the whole routine again. So again, remember, I'm trying to reiterate this. This is not about me. It's not about how awesome my hand wrap is. This is about getting the fighter in, getting their hand wrapped, getting it signed by the commission, getting it cleared by the opposite corner, and making sure that it's done quickly, efficiently, and without any stress on the fighter whatsoever. So our fighter's sitting down, he's in front of us. I want to dry his hand, get any extra moisture that might be on his hands. He's nervous, he could be sweating, he may have gone to the toilet and he's washed his hands and there's some moisture on there. I just want to dry all that off. And what this also does as well is this also promotes circulation. So we want to get as much circulation going in the hand as possible. We're going to use a branded gauze. I'm taking it out of its packet. The commissioner or the organization who you're working for, they may request that they witness you opening the packet. Sometimes these come not individually packed, so you'll have to open the box that they're in and show the commissioner what it is that you're doing. So we want his fingers spread as wide as possible, so when he makes his fist in the glove or in the wrap, it won't constrict, it won't tighten up as he closes. So we want as much spread on that hand as possible. So make a fist for me, please, Anthony. Good. And we want to keep this hand and the wrist and the forearm in line. Okay? Doesn't matter how good I am at wrapping hands. If he punches incorrectly, there's nothing the wrap can do for that. Okay? The wrap is just there to prevent injury that would happen if it didn't have the wrap on it. So if his hand's a little bit off, the tape and the gauze may protect it. If it's a little bit down, the tape and gauze may protect it. But if it's catastrophic, there's nothing we can do about that. So I'll start very, very simply by wrapping away from the thumb. So I'll just tuck under a little piece here, and then I'll catch it underneath, and then I'll begin to wrap. Now, because this is an MMA wrap, I'm only going to go 1.5 thicknesses up his arm. So that works out to be 5 centimeters plus 2.5 centimeters. So it's just 1.5. The reason for that is the bandage cannot show outside of the glove. Now, some people will tell you to count. Counting's a good way when you're starting out. But for me, I just go until I can't see any of the skin. So make a fist for me, please, Anthony. That's excellent. Okay, so now we're going to move to the thumb. So open your hand for me, please. And I will come around the thumb. So from here, I will cross and I'll get Anthony to make a fist for me. And what's that doing? That's pulling the gauze back towards his thumb so it's not too tight. I don't want to be holding tight here because that'll make this far too tight. So I just want to relax it down when he makes his fist. Open your hand. I'll come under. So I'll go knuckles, back of hand, thumb. Make a fist for me, please, Anthony. Open, back of hand, knuckles, back of hand, thumb. Make a fist for me, please, Anthony. And I will continue, open up, and I will continue to do this until I can't see any of the skin. Make a fist for me, please, Anthony. Very good. Open. And all the time I'm talking to Anthony, I'm communicating with him, I'm asking him how it feels. I don't want to restrict anything. I don't want it to feel tight, not now. we can tighten things up with the tape. So this is to be really comfortable. A tiny bit of pressure on the back of the hand to keep those bones in place. Make a fist for me, please, Anthony. How's that feel?
Good.
Open up. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. Now I will take the knuckle pad that I made earlier and I will place it across his knuckles. Okay, so let's take a look at that knuckle pad I just put on Anthony's hand. I've made that knuckle pad from the same material I'm wrapping Anthony's wrist with. It's 5 centimeter thick gauze, and this one's on a 10-meter roll. So to make the knuckle pad, I just take the roll, I spread my fingers nice and wide, and I just wrap the gauze around my fingers about 20 times, or sometimes even 25 times. And I do that 25 times, and then all I do is I close my fingers, I take it out, and then I'll cut that with a scissors, and then I'm left with a knuckle pad that then goes onto Anthony's hand. All right, and then from here, over the top. And I want to get this into place, keep everything neat and tidy, and under. So the knuckle pad, we can put a nice bit of pressure on, and then again, I want to tie everything in around that thumb. Make a fist for me, please, Anthony. Open up and come under. So the wrap has one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to protect the fighter's hand. But all wraps need to be signed off, make a fist for me, please, Anthony, by the commissioner. Open up. How's that feel, mate?
It's good.
Good. Have to be signed off by the commissioner, and they also may be witnessed by your opposing corner's team. So try not to make a big deal of it, okay? Leave your phone in your pocket, or make a fist in your bag. It's not about you taking photographs. Open up, okay? It's not about you. It's about the fighter. Very good. Make a fist, Anthony, nice and tight. And now I'm going to get him to hold that in the punching position for me as I just finish off and around. And then we will finish off on the back of the wrist where he's got plenty of support. Okay, so that's the bandage done. So it's very important now that I ask Anthony, how's that feel, mate?
It's good.
It feels good? Okay, open your hand for me. So what I've done here, I've purposely put the pad a little bit high up on his knuckles. The reason I did that is because I want to be able to show you that even though this wrap looks complete, we still have some room to adjust. Before I put the tape on him, I'll just make a fist for me, please, Anthony. This is just a little bit too high on the knuckles. It's not giving us the coverage that we want. So open your hand for me, please, Anthony. So what I can do is I can just come in underneath and slowly just manipulate that pad down just a little. Make a fist for me, please, Anthony. And now we have full coverage. The reason I showed that to you is because if the commissioner asks you to adjust the knuckle pad, you must adjust the knuckle pad. So that's just a little tip for you. You don't have to take apart the whole wrap to fix the knuckle pad. You can work around it and see how quickly that was with no stress to the fighter. So now we're going to move on to the tape. Non-branded tape, 1 inch, 10 meters long. So make a fist for me, please, Anthony. So I want to wrap in the same direction that I was wrapping the gauze, away from the thumb. My thumb presses down on top of the tape and I pull away and I come under, and now my finger presses on the tape as I stretch the tape using my thumb here. So I'm not stretching like this. I'm not pulling his wrist away, because if I was to wrap under here now, it'd be really tight. So I just want to hold it here, come under, hold it again, come over. Now see the way I'm overlapping the tape? Just over half, so it's under, over. Open for me, please, Anthony. I want to protect that thumb, and I just want to use where the gauze is. Again, get my thumb on there. Again, get my finger on there. And I want to come to here. Now, I don't want to rip this off. I want to wait, and I want to ask Anthony, make a fist for me, please. Open. How's that feel?
Feels good.
He's giving me the green light. I'm now going to do that. So we've come over his thumb. Can you turn your hand for me, please, Anthony? Now I want to do, I just want to come back the opposite way from the thumb. So I'll come across here, like so. Turn your hand for me. There we go, look at that. And I just want to come over that knuckle. Again, still using my fingers to pinch. Make a fist for me, please, mate. How's that feel? It's good, plenty of protection there. Awesome, open up for me, mate. And now what I want to do is just using the tape, single strips onto the back of the hand, pressing down, onto the back of the hand, and what I want to do is I just want to come right up to the back of the knuckle pad, pressing down. Now I know where the knuckle pad is. This piece of tape here will stop the knuckle pad from being pushed back up Anthony's wrist when he puts his hand into his boxing glove or into his MMA glove. So that piece here is protecting it from going back. But what stops the knuckle pad from going back when he puts his hand into the glove? Well, that's easy. What we do is we use 1/2 inch pieces of tape to come between the knuckles, which will hold the knuckle pad in place. 1/2 inch is really simple. You just take 1 inch of tape and you split it down the middle, and now you have 1/2 inch of tape. So before we apply the tape between the fingers, we need to create the bar. So turn your hand for me, please, Anthony. As you can see, all of the bandage here is spread out over the palm of his hand. It's spread across. It's not in the X like it was on the back of Anthony's hand. It's all across. So what we're going to do is we're going to gather this up with our fingers, and we're going to pinch it together, and we want to bring it up across, just across where your welts would be on your hand if you're a hard worker, right? So we pull them across here, and that creates a bar. So we're going to use, so what would happen is when Anthony makes a fist, he can grab onto that bar. Open up for me, mate. So I come from the top. So I will place that strip right here, get a nice grounding or a nice anchor, and then I will come through the knuckle pad. And what this will do is this will press the padding between the webbing of the fingers, because there's nothing worse than tape pulling on the webbing of your hand. It can be very, very uncomfortable. So we press nice and easy, not too tight. Not too tight, we just want to come under. Turn your hand for me, please, Anthony. And then from here, I'm just going to wrap it under the bar, like so. And wrap it around. And then turn for me, Anthony. Spreading your fingers, make a fist, open up, make a fist, open up. Very good. How's that feel? So we'll push on. I'll wrap over, come across, come under, and then using the bandage, turn. We'll wrap that around, stick it off, turn, make a fist, open, make a fist, open. How's that feel? Good, turn. You will see some cut men, some coaches, they will come under here first. They'll come under, and then what they'll do is they'll pinch. And then they will turn, and now they'll push the pad into the web, and then they tie off. Make a fist for me, please, Anthony. Okay? So that's just another way. You'll see some people doing it. It's entirely up to you which way you do it. For me, I just do it the other way. I just like pulling it down into position. Make a fist for me, please. Open, fist, open. We want to tie these off. And by doing so, we're just giving another bit of support to Anthony's hand. Make a fist for me, please, mate. That's it. Very nice. Open up. Again, We don't want to forget the thumb. The thumb is super important. Make a fist. How's that feel, buddy?
It's good.
Okay. And we just want to go over the tape that we've already put down. And here we are now, high up on the back of the hand. The rule set says that we can wrap up to within an inch of the knuckle. So there's the knuckle, right there. And the tape is 1 inch. So I can come up to here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use all of the surface that I'm allowed to use. Because it's not about how pretty his wrap is. It looks nice and pretty now, doesn't it? Right? But it's not about how pretty it is. It's about how functional it is. So what I want to do is I want to bring the tape up, all the way up, to give him as much support as he needs when he's fighting. If you're unsure, there'll be a commissioner here, there'll be somebody there, and you'll say, is that okay? All right, I always err on the side of caution, so I just go a little bit back. So now from here, I'm just going to wrap around. Turn your hand for me, please, Anthony. I'm going to wrap around, cross that bar, and we will tidy this up later on. Turn. And that gives me a nice bit of pressure down on the back of his hand here. Okay, make a fist for me. Right then. So now the bones in his hand are all compressed down, right? They're all compressed down. So when he makes impact, it will keep everything inside his hand. But sometimes we get this kind of movement here, this kind of flexion, okay? So we get this kind of movement here. So what we want to try and do is we want to mitigate any kind of risk from this happening here, okay? So what I want to do is I want to create an X across the back of Anthony's hand. I can't have anything up on the knuckles. So I'll start here and I will come across and I will create an X across the back of Anthony's hand. I will now do the same on the opposite side. I will come under and I will create an X on the back of Anthony's hand. And now from here, I'm going to work my way back. So, keeping everything tight, open your hand for me please, Anthony. Keeping everything tight and lapping over each piece by a half. I come over and I tie it off. Come over and I tie it off. We'll do one more. Come over, we'll tie that off. We'll come back here. And we'll tie that off. So now that's the support done. I'm very happy that Anthony's happy. How's that feel, mate? It feels good. Okay. So now, although wraps are important to protecting the hand, wraps are also very important for a fighter's psychology. When they get their wraps done, it's time to go. And there's a very famous saying called look good, feel good. And that's very true. So what we want to do is we want Anthony's wrap to look good. So this is where I use a branded tape. I will now use a branded tape to tie all of this in. Some brands will sell plain tape and branded tape because the branded tape is a little bit more expensive than this. So as you can see, I've used a lot of tape, tying in his hand, making it very safe. So now with the branded tape, I'm just going to finish everything off. We will go around the wrist. So just a quick example for some tapes. This is a non-branded tape, 1 inch. Then we have a well-known brand, 1 inch tape. When I was talking about putting the 1/2 inch tape between the fingers and that some branded tape make specific sizes for it, this is one here. Again, another branded name. And then sometimes you go to an organization, they will supply you with their own tape, and they may request that you use their tape only. Some people use the branded wrap for everything, okay? So if you go and work for an organization that has their own tape, then you just use the tape for the whole wrap. Come around, and just because this is to look good doesn't mean we don't use it for what it's designed for. We still have to give them some support. Open your hand for me, please, Anthony. We'll come around the thumb, using my fingers so I'm not pulling on it. Make a fist for me, Anthony. Come across. Awesome. Open up. Come across here. Turn for me, please, Anthony. Okay, we're going to come across his thumb again, so we'll go here. Turn for me, Anthony. We'll support the thumb. Using my fingers for pressure. There we go. How's that feel, mate? That's good. Make a fist for me. Open. Just tying everything off. Making sure everything looks perfect. Open. How's that feel, mate? It's good. Awesome. So make that fist for me. So his hand is nice and compact. It's nice and protected. It's very neat. Okay, it's nice and neat. So turn your hand for me. So as you can see in here, it all looks a bit wonky and thing now. So what I want to be doing here now is I want to be trying to tidy all of this up. So I take my scissors and I will cut just past the heel of the hand, ever so slightly past the heel of the hand. Peel it back and come around. Now that frees up his hand nice and neat, and then the bar here we will fix by snipping. And we will tuck everything under. Make a fist, Anthony, please. Good. Turn over. How's that feel? It's good. It feels good. So we'll test by pressing on it, and then we'll get Anthony to grab my wrist, which is so he can use his hands now in MMA. So grab, very good. And then if we want, we get him to do a backhand with the grab there. All right, and then he can grab underneath if he likes. All right, turn. And now that wrap is ready to be signed off by the commissioner. All right, so the opposing corner may want to have a look. They can come and have a look. Open your hand, and they will check the knuckle pads. They will check if there's anything inside. They will check the thumb. They will turn. They will check under the bar to make sure there's nothing under the bar. All right, and then they will sign them off. And that is a proper, legal, good supported hand wrap for MMA. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it was informative for you. And if you have any suggestions or any ideas of videos that you would like me to talk about or go through, let me know, because I enjoyed making this video and I wouldn't mind making some more.